Hi stampers and crafty people. Thank you for joining me for Tuesday Live at 5. I have got a couple of really fun cards today. So I'm just going to give it a few seconds here so that people have a chance to get notified that we're live. And while we're waiting, I will put the information up here. This is the address to my shopping site. I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and this is my host code for the month of March. So if you shop with me and you spend at least $35 and you use the host code, I will send you a thank you gift next month. If you should spend $150 or more, you wouldn't want to use that code because you will earn hostess gifts, and I will still send you a thank you gift also. But yeah, 150 or more, don't use that code. And I have a really fun announcement. Tomorrow, Stampin' Up! Is giving us a free day of shipping. So no shipping for orders that are $50 or more. This does not apply to Paper Pumpkin subscriptions. But yeah, if you want to shop, you might wait till tomorrow and get free shipping. So that is an awesome deal. And of course, tomorrow is St. Patrick's Day. So happy St. Patrick's Day. Don't forget to wear green. So today the focus is all about backgrounds. And what I did was I took a piece of window plastic and I cut myself a cloud stencil, and I just wrote cloud stencil on there so that I would be able to see it actually, because it's really hard to see this window plastic and easy to lose. So I just cut me a piece. This is, let me measure it. I don't know, it was just some plastic I had in my stash. I wanted it to be able to go clear across a card. This is actually 8 1/4 inches wide. So just a 1/4 inch shy of a sheet of paper width. And then I took a, what do you call these? A Sharpie marker. And I just drew little puffs along to create my cloud shape. And then I just cut it out with a pair of scissors. So that is how I made my stencil. Of course, I realize you can buy some, but you know, if you have window plastic, you can just make your own very easily. So that is, I'm going to actually be making 2 different backgrounds, one using the cloud little puff side and one using the straight edge. So let's start with the cloud edge. And I don't know if you can see the sparkle in this paper, but I'm using the shimmer white, and it's got a really nice soft sparkle to it, which I'm sure the camera isn't really picking up, but in person you can see it. So, and I'm gonna start at the top, and I'm also using the new blending brushes that we have. They come in packs of 3. And I'm going to start with Melon Mambo. And I'm just going to be creating kind of a rainbow looking sky. So I'm just going to ink up my brush. And you just kind of move the stencil around. You don't always want it to be in the same, you want to move your little bumps around is what I'm trying to say. So you start on the plastic and just make sure you are pressing down with this hand so that your paper and your stencil don't move as much as possible. And you can kind of tell when it does, because you'll be able to see the little mark there. So you just do it until you've got the color that you like. And look at that. So pretty. All right, so I'm going to be changing colors here and changing brushes. Let me grab a white. When you're changing colors, you want to make sure that you wipe off your stencil, because that color will go right onto, it'll mix up on whatever you're using. If you're using a sponge or a brush, whatever you're using, that color's going to get on there. So you want to make sure that you wipe your stencil off in between each color. And I just like to, I'm just using a microfiber cloth here. I just like to get as much color out of my brush as I can, so that it will be ready for the next time I use it. I try to keep within the same color families on my brushes. Okay, so that was Melon Mambo. And I just want to move this to some different shapes here. And then I think I'm going to do Mango Melody next, which is kind of an orange. And again, I'll start onto the stencil and go up. There we go. That's a little bit darker. That's what I was looking for. This is so fun, I think. It's just a fun technique, because when you take that stencil away and see what's left, it's just fun. All right. Wipe that color off. All right, let's do Daffodil Delight, which is a nice bright yellow. And I think we'll move it down this way this time. Pretty. Maybe I will go back over that first layer with a little bit of pumpkin pie and make it just a tad bit more orange. I'll see what that looks like before I put it on the paper. Yeah, it's not too bad. It's not too dark, so I just need to line that up again where I had it. That looks pretty good. And I'm just going to go over that and see if I can make it a bit more orangey, so that there's more of a distinction between the yellow and the orange. There we go. That's a bit better. So for those of you that are not catching this live on YouTube, Thanks for joining me, and for those of you who are watching it live, thank you so much. Please be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and don't be afraid to say hello and tell me where you're watching from. Okay, so now let's do Granny Apple Green. It's a nice bright green, and maybe this time we'll go like that. And I think what I'm gonna do is make the backgrounds for both of my cards first, and then we will go back and finish them off. So I hope you will stick around and watch me make finish the cards, because they're both really cute. All right. Ooh, so pretty. It's getting so pretty. I love it. All right, up next is going to be Coastal Cabana, which is this nice aqua kind of color. And let's see, I think we'll go like that. Oh, don't you just love it? I do. I love it. All right, and now I'm going to do Highland Heather. So all those other colors that I did were in the Brights family. Highland Heather happens to be in the, what is that color family called? They're the pastel colors. Can't think. All right. The soft subtles. All right, let's see here. Ooh, let's do that. Oopsie. It was scooting on me. All right. I love it. Kind of makes you want to go jump in all those colors, doesn't it? All right. We are almost done with this background. I am just going to come in with a little bit of balmy blue down here into the white puffy cloud. And I just want a little bit here, not much. Just a little bit. Just to give that cloud a little bit of definition there, and maybe we'll do a little bit down here. like that. All right. I love it. Okay. So that is the background for the first card. Let me clean this stencil. And you gotta stick around and see how these cards end up. All right, now then, let me get the piece for the second card. I'm also using the shimmer white, which has that sparkle I tried to show on the first card. I don't think you can really see it, but in real life, it's got the whole cardstock has a really nice subtle shimmer to it. And both of these card pieces are cut at 3 3/4 by 5. So this time I'm going to use the straight edge of this stencil that I created. And oh, my paper's getting a little wet there. I'm going to use 2 colors on this one, Misty Moonlight and Mint Macaron. So these 2 colors. So I just want to work with one color first, and I think I'll go with the lightest. So I'm going to start with the Mint Macaron. And let me make sure this brush is clean. So like I said, I'm using the straight edge, and I'm just angling it here. There's no rhyme or reason to how I'm angling it, just what I've decided to do. And I'm only going to put the color about halfway or a little over halfway. And when you're doing this, well, any of these techniques, because your colors are going to be blending into each other, you want to make sure that you're using colors that aren't going to turn to brown, unless that's the effect that you want. But yeah, you don't want colors that are going to turn to brown when they blend into each other, or get muddy, in other words. And I'm just scooting down here because I'm going to come back in with my second color. So I'm kind of leaving room for that second color. And then I think, let's see here. I think I'll go ahead and just put some of that green color on the corner here. Like that. Okay. Now then, all right. I'm going from the other side to the middle. You could do this with however many colors you wanted, and there's really no rhyme or reason. It's just creating this fun background design. And I've never seen anybody do this. I just was thinking about it this morning and I thought that might be kind of cool and fun. Okay, so we are done with the mint macaron. And now I'm going to do the Misty Moonlight. Let me just clean things up here a bit. Okay. And actually you can make these really fun backgrounds in pretty much no time at all. It's pretty quick. All right. So this is Misty Moonlight. Okay, that side is done, I think. We could just put a little blue across the bottom here. There we go. Okay, now we'll start on this side. Oopsie. So I hope this is giving you your own ideas of a background that you might like to do. I mean, there's the possibilities with doing something like this is just endless because it just all depends on how you're making your lines and how you're laying them out there. I mean, spacing them apart. All right, so there you have it. That background is ready to go, and I think it's pretty cool. Maybe you can see some of the sparkle now that there's color on there. I'm not sure. Okay, so that is Misty Moonlight and Mint Macaron. And if you do this with your brushes, just get as much color as possible out of them. You should be ready to go the next time you want to use your brush within the same color family, because after the brush kind of dries, the ink in it, and as long as you get most of the ink out of it, when you brush it, just brush it on a piece of paper first to make sure that no color's coming off. And as you can see here, I'm not really getting much color out of it now, even though the brush is stained. Okay, so let me just wipe off this stencil and we can finish up these cards. All right, there we go. Get that out of the way. I think I'll turn my paper over here just so we don't accidentally pick up any color, and I probably should wipe my fingers off. I tend to get the ink up onto my fingernails and then I don't realize I've done that, and I get ink on my project where I don't want it, which is not a good thing. Okay, so since we started with this one, let's finish that one first. I'm going to be using, and I've done things up ahead of time so that we won't be here all evening. I'm using the very fun Hey Birthday Chick, and I'm using the chick with the balloon, and I used the coordinating dies to cut that out. On the inside, I'm going to be using the cute confetti. I am using the Happy Birthday and Let's Celebrate You. So quite a bit of stamps out of this set. And let's start and get it out of the way, because I'm going to stamp directly onto our pretty background, and that will make me nervous. So let's just do that first and get it out of the way. This is a red rubber stamp set. Some of them are photopolymer, but this one is rubber. And let me just bring in the chicken. I've already cut him out, colored him, and pasted, and I put some stickles on the balloon. So stickles is, it comes in this pin. If you've never seen it, it's to the balloon there. And I colored the chicken up with my Stampin' Up! Blends, and then just die cut it out. And I did that ahead of time just to save some time. But I want to put it on here to see then where I want to stamp the Happy Birthday. So I'm just going to set it there. And I'm inking up the Happy Birthday with Memento Black. And we'll just stamp it right there and hope for the best. Yay! Okay, so we've got the front started. Let me bring in the inside, and that we'll get that confetti stamp. And I want to get that out of the way so nothing happens to it. And I'm just going to use some of the same colors that we did on the outside of the card. Let me bring this in. So I'm using Melon Mambo, and it's a pretty bright color. So I'm going to stamp off once on that one. and stamp it there. And maybe down here. And there. Okay. Let me do Mango Melody. And I should just keep my cleaning pad open here because I'm going to be needing to keep that clean as we go along. So this one I'm just going to stamp full strength. All right, we'll do a little Granny Apple Green. Just makes a fun little party when you open the inside of the card. And then we're going to do Highland Heather. Actually, I think that's good. And then the Let's Celebrate You. There we go. Now we can finish this card. Oh, I should have cleaned that stamp off before I closed this up. Okay, so I made a Highland Heather card base, and it was cut at 8.5 by 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. And then I've got a piece here of the Bermuda Bay. And this piece we can go ahead and put inside. Hello, welcome to my channel. I'd love it if you all would just say hello and tell me where you're watching from. All right, party inside the card. And then let me put these layers together. So again, this is Bermuda Bay. This one is cut at 5.25 by 4. And then the one we created is cut at 3.75 by 5. I just love how that turned out. Oopsie. These colors are all so pretty together. Hi, Carol. Hi, Shannon. Thanks for joining me, you guys. I really appreciate it. Okay, this is going to go on there. So if you missed the start, I created my own stencil with a piece of window plastic. And I just cut these kind of puffy cloud shape there at the top, and I wrote cloud stencil on it so I wouldn't lose it. So for my first card I used that, and then for the second card I created the background and I used the straight edge, and I just skipped every other kind of area and did one color at a time and went down one side and came back down the other side. So I will put that card together after we get this one together. I love the cloud. It's all about the colors, really. Very, very pretty colors. Okay, and so now I'm going to pop the chicken up. Thanks, Shannon. Ooh, Carol's watching from Australia. That's awesome. Thank you. Thanks for watching. I don't know that I have had anybody that far away that's at least told me where they were watching from. I don't think I've had anybody that far away before, so that's really exciting to me. I'm really happy to have you here. It just tickles me. Okay. So we'll put the little chicken on. And then I've got some pretty bling here. I've got the opal rounds, and they're very sparkly and opalescent. And there's two sizes on here. And I'm just going to put the smaller of the two and one bigger one. This one looks like it's glue is over the edge a little bit there. And I may have done that when I pulled it off the sheet. There we go. And one big one. And there you have it. This card is done. And inside. Happy birthday, let's celebrate you. And I used that shimmer white paper so the whole card front is sparkly along with the balloon. And here's the first one I did, so you can see it's pretty similar. The background, I moved my stencil just a little bit differently. So it's not exactly the same, but pretty darn close. All right, let's get on to the second card. So again, these colors are Misty Moonlight and Mint Macaron. And so this card, I'm using these gorgeous butterfly bijou papers. They are absolutely beautiful, and they are only here for a very short time. Look at the back. I mean, the backs are so gorgeous, as well as the fronts. In fact, these papers, I think they're only scheduled to be available for this month. I know they are while supplies last, and they're to me, the patterns in this pack are kind of those papers that you want to hoard because they're so pretty. But they give you, look at that one, isn't that gorgeous? They give you so many of each pattern. And what's really cool is the die that comes in this. Let me just pull it out. You get a lot of dies, actually. I've put them onto some magnet. You get all of these kind of detail that would cut out like the black part of the butterfly, and then you get this big giant one and some fun like texture things and a couple of smaller butterflies there. But this cuts out the whole stamp. So the stamp that goes along with these is these butterflies right here, and they're all together on one sheet. And so you can cut out you can stamp your butterflies and cut them all out in one pass through your machine, but you can also cut these ones out of this particular design of paper, and that's what I did today. So I already did that, and here you can see the missing butterflies that I cut out. But I wanted to cut out one of these pieces of butterfly just to put on the inside of the card. And you might think that that sounds a little bit weird, but stick with me here. I think, let me pull out the middle. I think we'll use this little yellow one right here since part of his body is still there. Oh, there's one more thing I want to do to the background of that, of the front of the card. I almost forgot. But this is just super simple to cut this little piece out without having to use a die. And it just will give it a little added something to the inside of the card. But let me get these set aside and bring this piece back in and my splatter box. So I'm just going to take my Memento black here and put some ink onto my block. And this is messy and I don't want to splatter ink anywhere else, so that's why I brought in my splatter box. And I'm just getting a water brush here. I don't want that one. I want one that's got a bigger brush. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to put some water onto the ink here. And then I'm grabbing one of my bone folders. Let me move that paper towel. Okay, and then I'm just going to flick. And it's not going to make real dark black because I've got water mixed in with that ink, but it's just going to give some texture here. And I kind of want it all over. And I think that's good. Let me pull this out. I'm just going to clean the tip of my brush off here. I always like to smooth the tip back down to a nice point. Just keep your brush in shape a little bit there. And I'll get my wipe and get that off the block. and get it off my bone folder as best as I can. It's going to stain it because this is really a real bone. This is an old bone folder I have, so it's a real piece of bone. Must be a rib bone, I guess. I don't know. All right. Okay, so that looks pretty cool. There's one little dark glob there and a couple of wet ones. I'll just dry those off real quick. So I like it even better now. It's even got more texture. So fun. Okay, so let's bring these pieces back in, and the little butterfly for the inside of the card. And I'm going to stamp Happy Birthday inside the card. And I'm just using this big Happy Birthday here from the Sweet Ice Cream set because I love the scripty font that it is, and it's a big stamp. And this is a photopolymer. And I have a big cushion here under my paper. When you're stamping with photopolymer, you always want to have a bit of a cushion underneath because there's no built-in cushion when you're using a photopolymer stamp like there is when you're using a rubber stamp, a red rubber stamp. So I just have that big cushion in there so I don't have to worry about it. All right. Happy birthday. There we go. And now our little butterfly. I'm just going to bring some liquid glue and make sure I get it good on the edge. And we'll put him up here. That way, if you do this with your little butterflies that are along the edge that don't seem like they're good for anything, they still are. They're still good for something because you can have them going off the edge of your page. All right. And now we can put that on the inside. And now I've got these 3 butterflies that I cut out with the dies and our fun background we created and a piece of black to layer it on. Now I could make this go that way or this way, but I prefer it going this way. That is just the way it seems more pleasing to my eye. All right, and I think what I'm going to do real quick before I go any further with that is bring my Wink of Stella in. And I wanted to put a little bit on this butterfly inside here too. So I'll do that first so it can be drying. It doesn't take very long to dry. And I don't know if you can see the sparkle. I'll try to tilt it. But anyway, it just gives it a bunch of nice shimmer. And I wanted to do the same for these guys. I'm not putting it on the body part of the butterfly, just onto their wings. And the Wink of Stella's got a pretty good size brush on it, so you can do fairly big areas in a short amount of time, but it also comes to a nice fine point, so you can get into smaller areas to sparkle them up. But it will just give this a little pizzazz for the person that receives it. Now this butterfly, the reason I chose the colors that I did for this technique here, I went with the same colors that are in this butterfly that I'm doing now. And one of the things that I really like about Stampin' Up! Is that they tell you on the backs of the paper packages what colors they used. So it makes it easy to coordinate and match the colors in the papers. And of course, if you don't have those same colors, you can just match them up as best as you can with what you already have. Okay, let's get this piece put onto the front. And if you missed the beginning, I did mention that tomorrow Stampin' Up! Is doing free shipping on orders $50 or more. It's an awesome thing because none of us like to pay shipping. So free shipping for one day only tomorrow on orders $50 or more. Okay. Now I'm just going to bend their wings up slightly. And let's see, that's a bigger butterfly than the one that I made on my first card. So I need to position these so I can see where I can stamp my greeting. Okay, I think there'll still be room here. Let me get my stamp out. I am using the Butterfly Gala stamp set for the greetings. I am going to use Hello Beautiful on the outside, and on the inside I am using, what did I use? Oh, I did the Happy Birthday already. We already did that. So I'm just using the Hello Beautiful. I love that greeting. Hello, beautiful. I mean, who doesn't want to be called beautiful? Probably a guy. A guy might not want to be called beautiful, but this kind of lends itself more towards being a card for a woman, I think. And it looks like it's going to fit more into the middle right here. Hello, beautiful. All right, now we can get these butterflies glued on. And I need to lay them flat when I put them on there, just so I can make sure I'm not going outside of the edges of the card. But once they are stuck, we can pop their wings up a little bit. Okay. And then this pretty little pink one. All right, and then I'm going to put some pretty little pearls. These are the Pastel Pearls. And let's see. I think we'll put these pretty light blue ones. They just kind of go more with our blues and greens. Let me grab this one that's out of place here. Make sure there was still sticky on the back, and there was. I guess my take your pick tool doesn't kind of want to pick up these bigger ones as easy. So I'll just pick them off with my fingernails. Okay. I know I want one down here. Let's see. I think we'll do it there. And then the kind of rule of thumb is to sort of go in triangles and to go in threes. Threes are more pleasing to the eye, or odd numbers, not necessarily threes, but yeah, odd numbers. Okay. And then I will bring in the first one, my sample one that I made, because it's different colors. And then I will bring back the chicken ones too. So if you missed those, you can see those. All right, so hello beautiful. Happy birthday. All right, and here is my sample one. So these were the other 3 butterflies that were on that one sheet. There were the stencil, or the die cuts out 6. So I took the 2 biggest, the 2 medium, and the 2 small. And I just kind of put them together in the colorways that I liked. And that's what I came up with. So this one, the card base is Melon Mambo. I was trying to think if I used Magenta Madness or Melon Mambo, but it's Melon Mambo. And then the colors are Melon Mambo and Mango Melody, I believe. Pretty sure it's Mango Melody. And then I put that pretty little butterfly from the edge in there. That was the only one, I think, that was that his little, what do you call those? Antenna were still attached there. But that one went well in the inside of this one with the pink. So just fun. That background technique, I hope you'll give that a try because it's just so fun. And like I said, you can use 2 colors like I did, or you can use several colors and just, you know, play with it. All right, so there's the 2 butterfly cards. And the chicken cards, I did both the same. Just the background, because of the way I moved my stencil, is a little bit different on each one. It would be kind of hard to get them exact, I think, and there's no need to do that anyway. So happy birthday, let's celebrate you. So I hope you have had fun watching this technique doing with a stencil, and like I said, I made my own, and you can do the same. It was super easy to just cut that out. I don't know if you can even see it really because it's so clear, but yeah, I just made a cloud edge along here and just left the other edges straight, and very easy. So thanks so much for joining me today, and I will be on my Facebook page, which is JannaStamps, live Friday at 2 o'clock Pacific time. So be sure to come over there and join me there. I don't know what I'll be creating yet, but it'll be something. And in the meantime, have a wonderful rest of the week, and I will see you soon. Happy stamping and crafting. Thanks for joining me, you guys. Bye-bye.